Alright, so welcome back to Zero Cool Gaming and the long play of Reckoning. I'm just going to call it Reckoning from now on. Makes it easier. I wanted to talk about a game that I played. And I'll play again and record it. I probably won't play that one and record it with commentary. That is a very difficult game. And the game I'm talking about is Morrowind. And it's not difficult in the aspect of it being a difficult game in that respect. It's difficult because you have to keep notes. You have to write stuff down. And there's a lot of stuff you have to write down. So it's what makes the game a little more, at least the way I play it, makes it more difficult. And it helps because it also keeps notes for you as well. And if you keep like cliff notes, you can find stuff within those notes to get further reading on and, you know, figure out what quest you're on and where you're going and what you're doing. But I've watched long plays of this game, and wow, the game that they play on these long plays that I've watched of Morrowind and the game that I played of Morrowind are like two entirely different games. And I say that because the way that they play that game is they use a lot of exploits, I believe is the way that you word that. And those exploits are like through the shops to get more money and paying people to help you level up. I mean, they know where all of them are and what order to hit them in and things to this effect. And they pretty much, I wouldn't say stay on the main quest, but they stay on the 4 quest lines, and they do those quests mainly. And that levels them up enough to take on the end of the game and beat it. I have never played that game that way. The first time I played through that game,
perhaps there is more to you than it seems. Incredible. What are you?
I played through as I believe a thief. And it wasn't a bad game, don't get me wrong. But how I played through that in that respect was, you would get, you know, I joined the thieving guild or whatever it is. I'm horrible with names, but anyway, I joined the thieves and I was gonna, you know, play that through to its end. First quest was pretty easy. The second quest I wasn't high enough level, so I wrote the name of that quest down and what level the you know, people or creatures that I was encountering were, and moved on. And I also went through the town and I picked up any quests that were in the town, and I started doing those quests basically in the order that I was getting them. And then I would, you know, later on, not the first time I played it, but, you know, later on I started writing down the name of each quest so that I could find it in the logbook later. And you know, I'd write maybe a sentence on what that quest was about, or and I'd leave a few lines open for each stage of the quest, because a lot of quests had stages that you had to go through in that respect to complete them. So that's basically how I would play the game, though, is that it would give me maybe 4 or 5 quests in that town, right? And I couldn't complete the main quest because I needed to level up to whatever level I needed to get to. Let's say it was level 13 and I'm like a level 3 or 2. So I would start doing side quests, and the side quests would get me maybe there was like 2 side quests in that town that were the level that they needed to be for me, and the other 2 were above my level. So I would go to do those side quests, and in the process of doing those, I would get other quests of side quests, and then I would do those, and I would die trying to do quests that I wasn't, high enough level to do. I died hundreds of times in this game. Truly. This game loved to kill me. It loved to give me quests that it knew I couldn't complete. Okay. But there was so much more to the game than that, too. There's armor and stuff you can buy, or you can craft yourself. There's a lot of items that you need for doing that. I preferred crafting my own items. And the reason that I preferred doing that is because you could go out and capture creatures in soul gems, and greater soul gems would be able to capture more powerful creatures and would give you greater enchantments that you could put on your items and armor and swords and things of this effect. And I enjoyed doing all of that. It takes hours, truly, to get any of that stuff done. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. And to me, that's what made the game interesting. The way that I would go through that game, by the time that I finished, and became the bandit lord king or whatever the hell he was, I was at a high enough level to finish the game, and I finished the game. The second time I played through it, I think I went through as a warrior and did those type of quests. And like I said, you just go through and you get lots of side quests. Truly lots of side quests all over the place. And they would lead you all over the realm. You'd find lost ruins, all sorts of things. You'd be surprised. learn to breathe underwater, capture fish, all sorts of stuff. The amount of things that you could do in that game was mind-boggling, truly. And I did play Oblivion after that, and Oblivion is a simplified version of that game. I know people don't like to hear that, but truly, Oblivion was a simplified version of it. I think the first time I played that game, it took me 4 years to get through it. And that probably amounted to like somewhere between 300 and 400 hours of actual gameplay. Because, you know, I would play that game and lots of other games at the same time. And sometimes I wouldn't play it for 2 or 3 months.
We can hold off the Tuatha here.
But,
He's directly ahead, in his study. Just keep going past the top of the well. He needs to see you. Right now, you're the most valuable thing in his world. I'll see you on the outside.
That type of gameplay. I liked how, I guess you could say slow it was. It wasn't really slow though. I mean, slow games that you could really just sit there and take your time on, are your turn-based RPGs. Where the game would just sit there and pause, or you could pause it manually between every move. And there are a lot of games like that, truly. And that makes it, you know, gives you time to think about stuff, what you want to do, how you want to do it. Like my first time playthrough, I mean, I was learning stealth skills and thieving skills and stuff like this, so I tried to learn all the magics and enchantments that went with that. You know, they try to say that the sneaking in that game sucks, and it does. But when you get it right, and you can get in behind somebody with, you know, high chances of, you know, killing them that way, and you've got good enchantments for doing it as well, you could take out some pretty high level creatures without even having to fight them. Just one hit them. And to me, that made all that time learning and researching and capturing the wrong creatures and trying to figure out what creature gave what, you know, gives what enchantments, where they can be applied, all that stuff. I enjoyed all that. And it's not like I enjoy all that in every game, because I don't. But I enjoyed it in that game because of how it was set up and how it was done. That's what I enjoyed about it. I guess it was more the setting than necessarily the type of gameplay.
You've made it, and look at you.
Because I've tried crafting games before and since, and most crafting games I don't really like. There was, you know, just enough RPG elements to that game that when mixed with the crafting and the way that the bartering system was set up, it made it to where you could get what you needed as you leveled up.
Too much to explain right now. The Tuatha have come to stop my work, but I don't believe they know about you. Not yet.
To me, I found it to be a well-balanced game.
You're the only proof of what we've
But
achieved here.
there also wasn't really a storyline to the game because of how I played it. Most of what I played was different side quests, not necessarily the main quest.
We're in the Feylands, miles away from the front lines. I thought we were safe enough from the war, but it seems some of the Dwarf have found their way here anyway.
So yeah, I mean, Elder Scrolls Morrowind was definitely a game of its time, because they don't make games like that anymore, really.
Yes, you're right. I've got my notes, but it's most important that you stay safe. It's just that you're fascinating, simply astounding. I'm not certain what's caused it, but somehow, yes, as I was saying, I'm not sure what. Perhaps I should go see.
Getting distracted by the game. So,
no, we've got to get you out of here now, quickly.
do I enjoy playing Elder Scrolls Morrowind? Well, the other two times that I played it,
He's a friend, and he may be able to help. No matter what else,
I never actually
stay
finished the game.
alive.
And the second time as a warrior, I think I got pretty cool with the game. And the third time, I believe I tried to be a mage, and that was incredibly hard. It was kind of funny at times, because those guys would send me out on quests that they knew would get me killed. And then when I came back, you know, after leveling up and actually completing the quest that they sent me on, they were like surprised that I came back. I'm just like, oh well, that's nice. These guys were literally trying to kill me. I just found it funny. It put an interesting spin on it. It was way too hard for me though, truly. That's why I don't think I finished it, because it was the side quests and stuff that I got were hard. Everything about it was harder.
Ready to fall,
So yeah, I mean, it's just, it tripped me out when I watched those playthroughs of that game, because I'm just like, wow. You know, it surprised me because I never knew that there was such an easy way to get through it. But I guess, you know, you got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people playing that game. They would figure out the most efficient way to get through it. Truly. I don't think I would enjoy playing it the way that those other playthroughs have done. I don't think I'd find anything enjoyable about that at all. I like all the crazy side quests that gives me. And there were a lot of crazy ones, truly. This guy might kill me. I'm not positive of that, but he might. Oh, that's how you do it. You gotta have your guard up and then you move. Gotta remember to dodge. I didn't quite get to 100% on that. Oh well, I tried. So yeah, that's kind of my review of Morrowind. Morrowind to me is more of a game. It is an open world game, and if you play it that way, it's interesting for the individual stories within it. The overarching game or story to the game isn't all that interesting in that respect. But they do put a lot of time, effort, and care into the side quests. All of the side quests, as far as I could tell, to provide a experience of a world rather than just a linear game of a world. At least that's how I viewed it. But then again, you know, I never played the game in the most efficient way. Truly, that was never even a thought on my mind. Now, I've played games where I tried to complete all the quests because that's actually the objective of the game. And that was Final Fantasy 13. 3. Lightning Returns. And this game, you know, has like blacksmithing and stuff into it, but it's nothing like the other game. It's nothing like Morrowind. But anyway, that's my review of Morrowind. Or that's my rant for the day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of yours.